SOB socks with the Vans. Doesn't get more California than that, does it, Michael?
I know that I owe you a 10-second car, so we got you one.
Bro.
It's kind of like a Fast and Furious, OG Fast and Furious scene out here, right?
Throw them in here, let's go to Race Wars.
Dude, that's amazing.
You come to Race Wars, we'll see how you do, then we'll talk.
Have you ever thrown a rod, Dave?
I got the shrimp.
Dave, throw the rod.
Does this ruin this piston, I hope?
For sure. Actually, put it down gently. That's not yours. I pulled in here and saw that, this, that, these things.
Yeah.
And asked myself, is this the place I would bring a Ferrari motor to be built? And Mia said,
don't judge a book on its cover.
Judge it on its results.
on its cover, by its cover. Jeez, you guys can't even get this straight. So what made you want to bring the engine here versus to like a certified Ferrari engine builder that does aftermarket twin turbos on F12s?
Well, there are no certified Ferrari builders that do that. So we went to the best option really is these guys have been hot rodding engines of all kinds for many, many years. Some really crazy drag cars. They built some road race cars and some just rad engines out of these really small like Honda engines, obviously Mitsubishis and all this stuff. Michael actually used to work at Cosworth. He knows a few things.
Cosworth.
He hired him because he looks like him.
Yeah, he's got the same name as me, so
And he looks like
Michael's
you.
got to stick
People
together.
think it's your dad.
Different
pretty
Michael.
funny.
That's another
Spring in
Michael.
my step
My
today.
dad's Mike also, but
Well,
so.
let's spring in there and go see what this is all about.
Watch your step on the dyno here.
Oh, you could lose.
Man, careful.
You know what this reminds me of? Like cattle grates. You know, back at home, all the cattle grates for all the areas in the back country.
I'm with you on
Spend a lot of time in the back country, don't you, Dave?
Backwoods, back door, everything.
Yeah. D Sport. Holy crap.
Wow.
Oh yeah. So yeah, he's got
There's a bit of stuff in here.
yeah, an LS motor getting.
Let's find some oil in the ground and get rich.
Oh, you're the Mike.
Yep.
Mad scientist?
Yeah, that's me.
Dude, how's it going?
Good.
What do you think of this project?
I think it's awesome.
Yeah?
I mean, a lot of the stuff we do is small displacement, high output. You know, so we've got turbos on these really tiny engines. They struggle. They don't make a lot of torque until that boost is on. With this thing, you've got displacement, you've got efficiency, and you're gonna have turbos on top of it. So it's gonna be a monster.
It's gonna make at least 300 horsepower.
At least. I'm just worried about everything downstream from the engine, you know, being able to hold together, because there's just so much.
Now, what
torque
about
there.
that, Mike?
Oh no, it's falling. That's why we changed everything.
Am I cool? Can I film this?
Yeah.
This looks really cool.
So this is one of the things that we do that's kind of unique.
Okay.
Most machine shops, they'll do what's called line honing, and that's where the engine is going to be sitting horizontally. They use this honing mandrel that they put through it this way and that way, and it just doesn't give you a very accurate final size. This way, it's vertical, the tool's not leaning one way or the other, and every single one of these journals is the exact same size when we bore it. So now we can run tighter bearing clearances. Tighter bearing clearances let you support more horsepower, but it also gives you less of a fudge factor, so your machining has to be dead on.
Crazy.
So doing it this way, the best way to do it. It takes more time. It's really the right way to do it. So on the high output stuff, we always do it.
I bet I could grab that and stop it with one hand.
It's not moving that fast.
Yeah, I bet I can do it.
Is so is that actually slowly going down?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. So
Because
right
it's going so slow, you
yeah, right
can't
now
really
it's
tell.
going. It's only feeding at 0.3 inch per minute.
0.3 inch per minute.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is about, I don't know, almost.
I love how he stuck his finger in there.
Yeah. That's about. It takes about 3 minutes to go through a journey.
3 minutes.
About
That's
3
not
minutes.
that long.
Not too bad.
This is a very big machine to sit here and do something this precise. And when it's precise, there's nothing quick about it. It's about going slow. At least that's what I tell my wife.
The F12 engine here.
That's why you brought it?
Yes, they don't skimp
Journaling?
on anything.
Sounds good.
Everything, right? So all the little details that most people don't do.
Yeah, what'd you guys do to this motor? You want to come over and tell us? I thought all you did was like repaint the valve cover, but whatever.
We haven't
That's
done
the only
that
thing we didn't do.
That's the only thing you didn't do.
Damn, what are these?
Those are bearings.
For what?
Those are bearings for the pistons.
The rod bearings.
Rod bearings, that's what I meant. I'm trying to learn, you guys. You set me up for failure. I don't set you up for failure
Oh yeah.
all the time.
So this is pretty similar. This is out of a Porsche.
Okay.
This
Your lunch kit.
Yeah, but this is pretty similar to what the cylinders look like in here.
Okay.
So the way that Ferrari designed this block, it's an all aluminum block, but then they actually have steel cylinders that slide in there, and they make the seal from the rest of the engine with some O-rings down on the bottom to make sure like the coolant doesn't go up into the cylinder and all that kind of stuff. What we did is we took these, we put this in that machine there horizontally so that we could rotate it, and we bored out all the holes so that instead of being originally 94 millimeters, we took it out to 94.5 millimeters. But basically, it took about 10 thousandths of material from both sides. The unique thing about the Ferrari engine, which I had never seen before, was that cylinder, although it was steel, they put this coating on it.
I've heard a lot about this coating.
This coating was a nightmare, okay? I'd never seen it before. So originally we thought we could go and just do a 94.25 millimeter bore, which is, you know, kind of the next one up.
As you do, yeah.
Yeah, and as we went into that,
As you do.
as we went in that, we were on that machine over there, the honing machine, and we're honing it. This stuff was like bulletproof. Like we were trying everything against it, and it just wouldn't wear away. It was so hard.
How long have you been doing this?
The engineering for engine stuff, been doing that for 30 years now.
So in 30 years, you've never seen this?
Never seen it.
I just want to kind of articulate that, because when you specialize in something and you've been doing something even over a decade, you're pretty much a professional in that field if you are actually doing this for a living and haven't gone bankrupt. So that means you're doing something right. And that means if you've done it for 3 decades, over those 3 decades, how much stuff you've seen. Crazy, right? You've been building cars for 25 years? 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah.
So
To not see something and come across it and have something throw you for a loop, one, it's actually kind of probably exciting, right? This is new.
Well, it was exciting, but it was also scary, right? Because if we do get it back up to 94.25, we'd have to recode it. So then I called around and called the premier company in the States to do the coating of the cylinders. And they're like, yeah, it's gonna be, you know, this much per cylinder, which was like, oh my God, we could build a new cylinder for that. And then he goes, since it's a steel or cast iron liner, we don't guarantee the work. And I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like,
you're like, what?
You want us to give you, you know, $6,000? No, it was more. It was like about $8,000 to recoat the cylinders, and they weren't going to guarantee it.
Yeah, and they're like, it might work, it might not.
Yeah.
So put it together and see what happens.
Hold on, but
Isn't that the infamous line? Is there a guarantee? Nah, it's motorsport. You know how many years I've heard that? Anytime I twin turbo it or take my car and modify it at a shop, the biggest out is always, it's motorsport. It's motorsport. It just happens.
I know the secret behind that.
tell me.
It's not that it's motorsport. It's somebody messed up or a part's not good enough. That's
For
what happened.
sure. Thank you. There's some accountability, bro.
There is a lot of variables though. So
Yeah, there's a lot of
So
variables.
if you build
Of
an
course.
engine, right, and somebody picks up the engine and they put it in themselves,
Yep.
and they didn't clean their oil system, and last time they spun a bearing,
Yep.
boom, engine's done.
Just
You're
had-
not going to warranty that.
This motor was perfectly good, had no issues, was turboed beforehand, and was still all good. We didn't blow anything.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah,
not like Dave in Bangkok. All right.
So
I don't know why we're high-fiving.
We did do a couple of treatments to the cylinders themselves. So we cryo-treated them.
Cryo,
And for
explain that.
Okay, so that's when you're taking something and you're freezing it to a level that the molecules are basically not moving or vibrating or doing anything anymore. It's dead still.
It basically normalizes everything. So instead of having some spots that are a little harder and a little bit softer, all these molecules move together and they're exactly the same.
They align.
They align and everything is like perfect. So you have the same hardness all the way through, and yeah.
Physics.
Pretty rad.
Physics, yeah. How fast you cool it, how fast you warm it up, what you do afterwards, these are all things that affect the end result that you get. But what we were attempting to do, we wanted to make sure that the material was going to be hard enough. Whenever you have two materials touching each other, it's always a fight between who's the hardest and who's the softest. The softer one. The softer one.
I'm sorry, guys. This is what happens when you get a couple of man children in a room with a guy who's trying to be
So
serious.
who is the hardest and who's the softest?
Yeah.
All right.
The thing about steels is it's one of the weirdest materials on the earth because how you treat it affects all of its physical characteristics. So you can get one steel and do 10 different things to it and it's going to have this type of characteristic, and you have another steel, the same steel, and do other things to it or do nothing to it, and it's going to be completely different.
Really?
So what we were trying to achieve is make this thing hard as possible, so we're going to get good wear. You can kind of see this crosshatch pattern here. So what those are designed to do is those are designed to hold oil.
Okay.
So in your cylinder, you want some amount of oil because that helps you make the seal with the piston ring to the cylinder. The depth of that groove the angle of that groove, number of those grooves, all of that plays a factor in how much oil this is going to hold and how well the engine's going to seal up or how well the engine's going to last. You know, if you have a full competition engine that you're rebuilding every season, you don't need as much life in the cylinder if you're going to refresh it. But for something that, you know, you want to put on the street and run it for 10, 20 years, it's a different type of finish that we go for. So in this, we wanted this thing as durable as possible.
So that's why the coating that Ferrari chose,
yes,
that was like the thing you never saw, was so hard that's why these motors just don't fail for the most part.
Yeah, it's correct. Really low friction, and so you don't wear out the rings. They run really thin rings for less friction, so it's a combination of stuff. So the engine is basically really slippery inside, so less parasitic loss, so it can make more power and make that power for longer. But yeah, Ferrari did a lot of things like that in these engines that is really impressive.
So for most people who don't get to see an F12 engine ever out, the reason for it never coming out is, one, the average Ferrari person's not modifying their F12 to this level. And number two, these motors are so well built by Ferrari. To give Ferrari some props, they are an engine manufacturing company first before anything else. Like, they build bad engines.
100%.
So if you want a bulletproof engine and you want an V12, the F12 probably is one of the best bang for the buck, especially right now. Yeah, because these cars honestly haven't really gone up that much in price and value, and they're actually still going down. So you can get one of these, and you guys remember what this sounded like naturally aspirated with a straight pipe? It was insanity. With the dual clutch transmission, it really is a beautiful car. And on that bombshell, I think I need to get another one, just a stock one. Dave didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's got one here that's coated.
It's actually not a coating. It's a lot of people think it's a coating, right? Because it definitely changes. It definitely changes the appearance. It's a surface treatment, and the way that they accomplish that is they have these micro-sized steel shot peen over the whole surface, and what it does microscopically, if you looked at this, it would look like the surface of a golf ball a little bit. So just like a golf ball travels better through the air with those dimples, the piston's going to move through the cylinder with less friction because of those dimples, and those dimples actually help to hold a little bit of oil too. So it has a few different things there. The last thing that it does is it puts the outer shell of this, because you've peened it, which is you've basically pounded it makes it harder. So it has like a hard candy shell, like it's an M&M piston now. You know, this is hard candy on the outside and softer material on the inside.
Hopefully it melts in your mouth, not in your engine.
Exactly. Exactly.
Makes no sense, but I'm here for something, right guys?
So pistons will be different weights, amount of like thickness they put in it, to like if you're running a ton of power and a ton of boost, or if you're running a normally aspirated engine that doesn't need as strong of a piston. And then they'll also change them and make them shorter. They might go with 1 or 2 rings, like in a high-end race engine,
like up here, yeah.
Very high spinning race engine.
Okay.
For less friction.
We're not doing flat top pistons?
Mia, just feel how smooth that is.
Oh, wow.
What are these ones?
It's neat, right? It's kind of
really
neat to
cool.
touch.
Yeah.
So this was the original piston that came out of this engine. This coating is for the same purpose as this, to reduce the friction on the side. So this piston, before it got the treatment, looked more like this. The shot peening process dulls it out.
Why does it have so much more surface area on the side of this piston than the factory one on that one?
What that's going to do is that's
here.
going to help that piston be
Like that.
a little bit quieter, give it some more stability. There's going to be less rocking in that piston because there's more contact in there. Ferrari does it this way because they're trying to get the minimum amount of friction, horsepower loss to friction. We've got twin turbos on this, so we can go.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
That deserves a high five. Let's go. No, you're sick. I got you.
We can do things to make the engine more durable and ready for the higher horsepower, and make it, you know, a little bit more streetable, a little bit more manageable. I mean, the engine shouldn't be what's making the noise, you know. So this will help keep the engine a little bit quieter, having you know some.
I
more.
want the car to be quiet, so that's good.
Did Mike end up telling you kind of like what the horsepower gold was?
Yes.
So what was the number he told you? I want to see if it's the same as he
about
told me.
1,500 at the wheel.
Oh my God.
What are you gonna do with that?
I said 500. How'd you get a 1 in front of that?
Well, you know,
Is that why we're here?
rebuilding it, so we might as well.
Yeah, so 1,500 to the wheel is what we want to put down with this thing reliably.
And I think because this engine's so efficient, it's going to happen at a pretty low boost level, I think.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I think you might.
Safe.
I don't know. If you have to run 12 pounds of boost, I'd be surprised. I don't know. I mean,
Really?
maybe, but I mean, it's gonna. This engine is so efficient. I mean,
So if we run 30, what do you think would happen?
You'd definitely be worried about everything beyond this for sure.
Everything beyond this motor is actually pretty cheap to replace. If anything's gonna get destroyed, the most expensive thing won't be it. This will be okay. If we honestly blew up the differential or if we blew up the transmission, those weren't that much.
Yeah.
I mean,
relatively.
Relatively.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I'm not trying to sound like a financial dickhead here, but relatively.
Factory F12 transmission.
Correct. The DCT transmission is probably like 60 grand. The transmission we bought and put in there is how much?
Like 20.
20.
Yeah, no, a little less.
So 1/3 the cost. Someone gave us a little bit of flack recently because of the hat, the new merch line coming out that says DD Racing, and they're like, you guys don't do anything racing, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, listen, I know we sold the 2 race cars we had. That doesn't mean we have new stuff coming up in the future. Like, what do you think this whole platform is? Like, the F12 really is full-blown race car now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's a full cage, it's full everything. It's serviceable like a race car.
Yep.
It's all modular the way he built it. It is race car. It's basically my Ferrari version of the Unicorn, but it's rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Guys, understand that what we're going to be doing in the near future will be like racing level stuff. And I have other things coming. I really enjoyed going with him to Grid Life a year ago. That's no joke, and I got addicted to that. The trick is I wanted to build something to go back and do that. So instead of just driving a factory-built Lamborghini, I have something in mind for the future. So it's coming, it's coming. Trust me, the racing and DDE will still be there. I got the bug because of this guy. He's currently got the bug, which is why I'm
We
walking
also went to
away.
an F1 race last week, so there's that. We were at Singapore.
And I also just showed up in a Senna, which is really a race car derived for the street.
Yep.
And it's an insanely capable car on the track, which I need to take to the track.
Yes.
I think the goal is to take this thing back to the F12.
Stop that
And what?
Stop that and let's go drive.
Well, we're getting there. We're getting there. We have a few things to do before we put the engine in. But yeah, real soon, like in the next couple days, we'll have this in the car, bolted, with the clutch in, with the transmission, with the drive shaft, which is done, which is really rad. So we're gonna have to pick that up because I know you're gonna like that.
Really?
Yes.
It's a custom drive shaft.
Completely custom carbon drive shaft.
What?
Oh,
Carbon?
yeah. Oh,
Carbon?
yeah. Yes, carbon.
Carbon?
Carbon.
Carbon.
That's a high five.
Carbon.
I'll give you the good high fives. Uncle Dave will hit you with the dumb ones.
Next challenge is how do we get it in here, how does it stay there?
Maybe on a piece of wood or something. Run a tire or just wood? Tire makes it kind of rock around. Maybe I'll just take this piece of it. Yeah, go for it.
Tire.
I love how precise everything is, and at the end it's like, oh, throw it on a piece of wood.
Yeah. What did we say? How much is this engine? It's all good.
Right?
It's all good. Throw some wet plywood in there.
You take
Particle
a corner
board.
and this thing like rolls and takes out the box of your truck.
It already happened.
What's that from?
From when it came here.
You know, sometimes you put a strap on, it breaks, and it just keep going. It doesn't really matter, you know?
All I heard was Mike says sometimes puts on a strap on.
And I also heard he says you just keep going.
Keep on going.
He lost a bolt already. That guy.
We'll keep those for.
What are those?
We'll find out later.
Ready? Yeah.
Stop for that. I thought you were on that side still. Okay. I love how after all that explaining and everything, it's like, well, let's chuck it in. Well, the good news is if it was gonna roll over onto one side, this was the side to do it, because this looks like the side that could
It's got some
have, the
stuff
weight
on
of
it.
it could have
Everything-
cracked something.
Yeah, fortunately, everything right now is like cast aluminum, and nothing's gonna happen to it, so it's all good. It's fine. There's no sensors or anything that are gonna get broken off. Those trees. Mm-hmm. Those guys. Yeah.
This is where after, when they said they're gonna load the engine, we should have left.
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah. Mike, we'll see you back at the shop. That's the new F12 carbon drive shaft.
That is the custom one-off carbon drive shaft for the F12. They just finished it up. They actually, you know, these
That's
guys do it
testing
right.
it.
Yeah, so they balance it. They put it on the machine to, just like the crankshaft got balance, everything in the driveline gets balanced. So the carbon fiber drive shaft gets balanced as well. So when the drive shaft's spinning at 10,000 RPM or something insane, then it's not like vibrating the whole car and wanting to rip itself out of the chassis.
That's really cool. Who would have knew that through this process, this guy was gonna be interested in any of this? Because normally I don't care how it gets done. I'm just like, make it do the thing, and then I'll go do the thing in the driving, and that's the fun part. But being there for the process, I'm like, I just wanna see it done. But this is actually getting me into it. Maybe I'm a changed man.
Yeah.
Also recently through this whole weight loss journey, went from not being the morning guy and being like, I'm not the morning guy, don't talk to me in the morning, I need my coffee, to like, I'm the complete opposite. I go to bed early, now I'm the morning guy. I'm in the gym like first thing in the morning, all perky.
Yeah.
My daughter's not used to it. Mia was like, what the
What is
wrong with you? Go back to bed, Dad. So we have the motor here. Well, we're a few guys light compared to what we just did to get that thing in there. So fingers crossed we don't drop it on the ground. That wouldn't be good.
We'll do it a little differently than we put it in.
That, I can promise you, is a bad idea.
I'm getting behind this.
Yeah, swing it by the car that shouldn't be parked in here. Whoa!
Dude, I do not trust this.
This whole process is not...
Front back, side to side, baby.
Jeez. How do we strap it down? Or should we just roll it onto this?
Yeah, I think we're just gonna slide it onto it just the way it is. Wait, hold on.
Dude, stop. $150,000 motor here. $4,000 forklift. Can do a lot of damage. Bro, stop. Stop. You and your f***ing grin. Stop. Hey, I'm not joking. Stop.
I almost got it.
Okay, stop.
Even Tim's nervous. When Tim gets nervous, I get really nervous. Okay, go forward. Keep going. Keep going.
There you go.
This is tense. Keep coming up. Keep going. Okay, stop there. Go forward a little bit. Go up a little bit more. It's that side I need. Yeah, yeah. Just keep it right there. Keep going forward. Mike, you want to grab the motor?
Yeah, I was gonna grab the engine stand first to have it ready.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. Do we have a process? We have a process. Okay, don't move. Don't move anything because you're actually in a really good position. I'm not gonna lie. And look at Tim's so nervous right now. Make sure that doesn't roll. Make sure that also doesn't roll onto you.
No, it'll roll this way.
Oh, we know no, Tim, it rolls the other way. We saw it earlier.
Which way does it roll?
It rolls that way.
How do we know?
It's happened once already today. I love how we gamble in life using Dave, who's not a certified forklift technician, and a $150,000 Ferrari motor that is a true one of one. Don't go anywhere. Because right now, it can all go really good or it can all go... No, no, no! No, no, don't go, no! Stop!
Take the tilt out of it!
Shut the f up, stop. You were to leave it where it is, put the engine on, and then take the tilt out of it.
You can take some tilt out of it, but you could leave it where it is.
Bro, it has to, you need the tilt to get the angle. I had you at the angle.
I was in my gas champion, a father of two. Thank you very much.
What's happening?
Tim,
Yeah.
help me.
That's more tilt.
No, you need to take the tilt out of it.
Stop rocking it, Tim. Your head.
Just pull it back.
You don't need the motor to do anything except for, yeah, right there.
Okay, now go down a little more. Like, lower the forks.
And now go in, go in, go in.
Yep.
Because if it's any lower, it's not going to go over the wood on the left side. There you go.
Yep, keep coming. Keep coming. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
So now take the tilt out of it.
Keep going, keep going.
I'm not going to lie, this is all the stress, bro.
It is.
Because we don't want it rolling
good.
forward.
Okay, now Tim, you're gonna have to get out of the truck. I'm gonna move the truck forward.
That's good, I like that. That's good. Tim, you stay there. Hold on to that. 2 hands. Because the truck's going to go forward. Bro, all the stress.
It's looking good. Still up there. Tim, how you doing?
I'm good.
It didn't fall off so far. So now what we need to do is bring the forklift down and then we can pop the engine stand on it. All right, we can start going up a bit. So we get this angle right.
Oh! I'm not going to lie, I actually can't believe Dave pulled that off. All right, buddy, take me out of here.
This makes me very nervous. If there was ever a lot of trust in a relationship, it's right now.
Hey, Eric Troy. Thanks, FedEx guy. Spin it. Do a donut on the block.
Spin it!
You won't.
Do a donut! No, don't.
What's up, bro?
What's up?
How you doing?
Good, he's rocking the merch today. Good boy.
Yeah, the t-shirt.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, and this sunglass. You remember that?
Yeah, Mr. JW Dub.
Yeah.
Man, car's looking fresh, bro. Yeah.
Those wheels are sick.
You made those, right?
Yes. Yes, and we're making something for Mike as well.
Hold on. What are you making for Mike?
For his AMG GT.
Him, we get a big old sandwich.
You need to make him something else before you make him wheels. Dude, these look good.
Yeah.
They look really good.
And they are monoblock.
Really?
Yes, they looks like two-piece, but they are monoblock.
That's actually impressive, especially with a polished lip.
A lot of masking.
A lot of masking?
Masking, yeah.
You robbing a bank? Wearing masks?
Masking the wheel.
Hey, why'd you take your wing off?
We're doing something with it.
You're always doing something, aren't you, Eric?
Yeah,
Toy?
I bought this car and then I have to develop some part for it, right?
I like that, my man.
Yeah.
By the way, my daughter's getting a 991.1. So,
Yeah.
P Club, P
Finally.
Club.
what'd you call my daughter?
The P Club. The Porsche Club.
All right, back to the F12.
Dude, it's really cool.
Oh, it's beyond cool. And it's really cool to see these out. Like, look at this.
Yeah, it's never been done before, which is crazy.
One of one, man.
Oh, it's looking so mean.
Dude.
It belongs like a World War II aircraft, like a fighter jet.
It honestly looks like, you know, when you see an F1 engine out,
Yeah.
and you see the headers and the intake, it's all carbon, obviously.
Actually, yeah.
But it does really look like that, especially like the V10 era.
Yeah.
The good old days.
Good old days when they
Yeah,
still
because
sounded
they
good.
kind of went up and back.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy how they built those.
Bro, that's sick.
Yeah, it looks impressive like this. To say I'm excited would be a massive understatement. The biggest question is, what is it gonna sound like? That is the $1 million question. Literally after we spent it.
What do you think, Mike? What will it sound like?
I mean, I think it's going to sound really good. That's why, you know, we spent so much time on the exhaust manifolds and choosing the turbos and even the exhaust housings and everything to try to get that screaming V12 sound out of it.
I think no matter what, it's gonna sound nuts.
Yes.
As much as there's a lot of people who didn't love the way that it sounded when it was turboed before, the videos never did it justice. Like in person, when this thing was turboed in its previous format, it still sounded nuts.
It did. It
like
still sounded insane, right?
There was nothing that ever sounded like it. It like sounded a little bit like a tractor, sounded a little bit like a race car. It was crazy.
Here we go. We're all bolted on now. Look at that.
Honestly, it's impressive looking. And that's not even all of it.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot more. The big motor.
It is.
What are we doing now? And when I say we, I mean by we film and you do the thing.
Yep.
Do the thing.
Yep.
So what's your plan? What's the plan of attack now?
The one thing I wasn't sure of was the clearance between the intake manifold and these risers, which the high pressure fuel pumps used to go onto. Obviously we don't need those anymore. So either way, these are gonna get blocked off. But if I didn't have enough room here, if there wasn't enough clearance, then I was gonna just put them in the mill, machine them down and weld a cap on them, which I might still do because this is up probably about 5 millimeters higher. It looks like it's gonna be pretty snug. So I have to pull these off anyway because there's actually an oil passage inside. And without the high pressure pump in there, it would just spray a ton of oil to nowhere. Just fill the head with oil, you'd lose oil pressure. These have to come off, that's why I only have a couple bolts
bolt off?
cover.
Do these come off?
Yeah, so I'll pull the valve covers.
Okay.
And then these come off with 4 bolts.
Okay.
So I'll cut those down, weld them up, so that'll be good to go. And then another thing I need to do is the old alternator sat over here. And with the exhaust that we built, the alternator's not gonna fit. So we're gonna put a Bosch race alternator. I'm gonna make a new bracket and mount it lower and on this side. Since all the oil pump and everything's on that side and all the water lines go on that side, we'll put the alternator over here. So I'm gonna make a bracket for that. It's a lot easier to do when it's out of the car.
Copy.
So yeah, once I finish those couple things up, then it's ready to go into the car. We'll put the clutch and flywheel and all that stuff on it. Put the bell housing on with we got the new tilt and release bearing. So we got that mounted up, bolt all this stuff together. We've already got brake lines in the car.
Yeah, look at this. You guys have gotten quite a bit done. There's a lot of little updates. Brake lines, what else? We noticed a whole bunch of stuff. There's a battery in the back.
The battery's mounted, the water pump's mounted, the fire system bottle is mounted now, the fuel cell.
We test that?
I mean, yeah, we can test it. They're only $500, so $250 or so to recharge.
And a 2-hour pressure wash session.
And then after that, yeah, this is actually not the powder, which is good. It's the foaming spray.
Oh, foam party.
So will there be a whole cockpit and engine suppression system on this car?
Yeah, so we've got Tim mounted up the nozzles. So we've got 4 nozzles.
Oh, that's what those are.
Yeah.
So that's for suppression.
Interior. I like the party.
So we've contained the inside of the car to not have a bunch
get
of
out of the car.
Exactly. So we will have one inside the car that's pointed kind of at the driver. You haven't felt the e-brake yet, have you?
No.
The brake pedal works. The clutch doesn't yet, obviously, since that's not in the car.
By the way, having a white shirt and getting in here it's risky, man. I live on the edge, guys.
clean-ish.
I live on the edge. Oh, there's a little bit of brake pedal feel.
Yeah, you got brakes and you got e-brake.
Oh, that's a lot tighter.
Yeah.
How'd you get it tighter?
We redid it this morning.
Oh man, bro.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
So no vacuum assist or anything, just
No,
straight old
it's a
school.
race car. So all the pedal feel. Vacuum assist is always variable depending on how much vacuum is in the booster. So sometimes you have a fairly stiff pedal. Sometimes if you're off the throttle for longer, you create a lot of vacuum and then you get a soft pedal. So
Is this the same system that was in the Evo 2?
Yes.
So literally, like, you have to push hard.
Yeah, I gotta push hard. We
gotta
didn't
push hard.
we didn't size the master cylinders as big as a road race car. So for a drift car, I like a bit of a softer pedal. Not soft by any means, but like
You can tap it versus like in the Evo 2 when I was on Laguna Seca coming into some of those corners,
You're
like
burying it.
coming over the crest of turn 1 going into turn 2.
Yeah.
180 degree almost turn.
yeah,
Like you're on the brakes.
yep.
Like hammering them.
Yeah, so for a road race car, you really want that because you want to not have pedal travel, you want to have pedal pressure dependent on how fast you stop. Instead of thinking like, oh, I need to push it down 1 inch or 2 inches for this corner, which you get in a softer pedal.
In an F1 car, is that the same idea? But
Yes.
obviously crazy.
Very, very stiff brake pedals.
James was saying he pushed as hard as he could when he had the opportunity to do that F1 experience.
Yeah.
3 months of training, and he said he was pushing as hard as he physically could, and he was hitting just enough braking pressure that they'd let him drive the car.
Which is probably 60% of the actual braking pressure that the car is capable of.
I think he said he hit 70.
There you go. So
Low 70s. He said it was insane.
we've even got like that sensor is in line back there.
This?
Yep. So that's going to be a brake pressure sensor.
Okay.
And also you'll be able to see in the data when you pull the e-brake. So you can see all that data. We have one here for the clutch as well. So you can see if you're,
Pressures?
yeah, just to make sure everything's good with the clutch. Are you, releasing the clutch properly? Is it dragging
On the screen,
a bit?
it'll have the...
Yeah, you can do pressures on the screen. Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. It's just little things. It's all the little things add up, and then one day you're like, it's all done.